sportsman points. Moving into the super sports, okay? Super sport points. Your leader, any guess?
In the supers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be Mr. Dan Dybel.
That would be, wouldn't it?
He's won the last 4 races in a row, including last night, okay? 338 points racked up. He is ahead of Brian Winkler, who sits second in points with 313. Third in points is BJ Donofrio with 311. Fourth is Randy Barley, the defending champion, with 305. And fifth is Jordan Wright at 283. Then it goes Doug Elkins, 281. Dave Miller at 7th, 279. 8th is Chris Mott, 266. 9th is Gil Pickett, 216. And 10th is the 77S of Chad Slover with 209. Now, we had in the first 3 races 3 different winners. Chris Mott, Jordan Wright, Gil Pickett. Since then, nobody's won but Dan Dybel. He's won the last 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving into the IMCA Modifieds. Who is the current modified points leader at Willamette Speedway?
You're asking me?
He's won a race.
In the modified.
If you're gonna have to say a points leader,
Colin Weinberger.
that would be a good guess.
Am I right?
No. The points
Red
leader,
ticket, white ticket.
Listen to this, though. The modified points are tight. Let's talk about, especially the first.
Bryson James.
You're correct.
All right.
253 points scored. Behind him,
Colin.
John Campos.
John Campos,
John
really?
Campos is second with 246.
Right on.
Colin Weinberger is third with 239.
It's pretty tight.
Brian Thompson is fourth.
Wow.
With 200 points even. And just back behind him, 4 markers, is Dustin Cady. Those are your top 5. Behind Cady, it goes Gray Ferrando in 6th, 194. Steve Moore in 7th, 172. Sean Maya in 8th, 169. Mark Gaylord in 9th, 145. And Matthew Drager in 10th, 132. Okay? Those are your top 10 in IMCA modified points. And in the super late models, who is the points leader? And super late models.
I don't know. I give up. Who?
Joey Tanner.
Nice.
So we got the old man leading in the street stocks, and you got the kid.
The man-child.
That's right. You got the kid leading in the super late models. It is tight. It is a tight race for the super late models. Listen to this. Your leader, Joey Tanner, 249 points. Just ahead of second place, Bryson James, 242. 7 points separate him.
Wow.
Third in late model points is Colin Weinberger, 234. Fourth, Brian Kronk, 229. Fifth is Steve Moore, 215. Tomas Hunsker is 6th, 212. Seventh is Todd Sieg, 196. Eighth is Randy Boyd, 186. Ninth, Jerry Casey, 175. And Trent Elliott is 10th with 173. Those are your top
173. 10. What's the points leader have?
249.
Okay. So about 75 roughly.
So
points.
Late models. Joey Tanner, Bryson James, Colin Weinberger. IMCA modifieds. Bryson James, John Campos, Colin Weinberger. Those kids, I'm telling you, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, and it's good for the fans that those guys run double duty. You know, I mean, it's good to watch any of those guys in any kind of car.
That is
it's
a
fun.
lot of work. That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
To get out there and drive 2 different styles of race cars on the same night.
Keep your adrenaline level high at all times. You don't have a chance to calm down. You're all right, gotta race.
That's right.
Love it.
No doubt about it. Man, we're 52 minutes in already. Can you believe it?
Wow.
It is crazy. We've got RC cars everywhere. We've got guys out there that are, I think we're in qualifying right now. It looks like there's one car on the track.
Guys and girls. Some girls over there. Girl drivers.
You want to talk about rate of acceleration. These things are nuts. Trying to watch this lap here. This is we've got to get a live Moxie.
You know what I told Casey last time I was here I was going to bring our radar gun, and I forgot all about it.
Right.
it'd be nice to put a radar gun. And he says his timing and scoring shows how fast they go down that straightaway. But it'd be cool to sit down there at the other end and see how fast the gun shows them.
Well, the straightaway here on the back, the long one right there in front of the pit area, 84 feet, I believe.
I think is what he said. Yeah, something like
84 feet, which is the length of, I want to say, it is a college. I think it's a college basketball court. Is 84, 87, something like that.
Is that right?
I mean, this is not a little track.
Oh no, by no means.
All the twists and turns. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Then he changes it up every once in a while, too. It makes jumps and turns all different. He reconfigures it.
Look who's here.
Look who's here.
Casey, grab a mic and a headset. Jump on board with us, man. We're going to bring Casey Vitale on to the show. Here's a headset you can put on so you can hear what we're saying. He's yelling at people over here. He's kind of the big boss man.
He is the big boss man.
Top dog, Casey Vitale.
He's a big man anyway.
Yeah. They fall harder. Grab your mic right there.
Well, I thought my head was big. Oh, let's turn.
He's on 3.
Yep.
There we go. So, can you hear it? Can you hear it now?
Is it too loud?
It's real distorted sounding.
Turn it down a little bit. It's way up high. Okay, well, Casey.
How's that? Up.
Welcome to Northwest Dirt News. This is crazy, man. This little setup you got here is wild. So kind of walk us through how the night goes here. I know you've got everything like a regular show. You got qualifying. You've got heat races. You've got features. I mean, this is a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, so tonight we got 2 qualifying rounds per class. So that better there?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we got 2 rounds of qualifying for every single person here. So everybody here is going to get to run 2 heat races. The way it varies a little bit different from the traditional style racing is it is heads up here. If you win your heat race, you won your heat race. But it is off of time. So there's actually 5-minute races. So it's how many laps you do in 5 minutes plus how long it takes you to do your extra lap. So on our last layout, this is a brand new layout today. It's our first time on it, so we don't know what the fastest lap's going to be, our fastest run. But on the last layout, Brad Borneo, the driver out of Salem, actually had the fastest run overall on the whole layout at like a 25:01. So it was 1 second from a 21-lap run. So we'll have to see how today comes out here. It's pretty interesting how it goes. There is 3 heats of stock. I think there's one full heat of modified, 2 heats of pro stock truck, and our junior class today.
Well, that was one thing that when Warren and I know, again, not knowing anything about this, walking through your pit area over here, you've got 40, 50 drivers here tonight. Several guys have brought more than one car. I know Conway showed up with like 5 of them. You can tell clearly there's a difference in class just by looking at these cars. And these things are absolutely incredible. Talking with you like we did a live teaser earlier, the cost of getting in is about $300 for a car, for a good entry-level car. And you got guys spending upwards of $2,000 on some of these hot rods.
Yeah, it's just the sky's the limit with it. A lot of the stuff you don't really need. A lot of it's just kind of the eye appeal, the bling, the shininess. If you come out here in our actual true stock class, it's $500 gets you truly competitive. I mean, it's
that's not bad, really.
You'll be able to win on any given race in our regular stock class. So we also have a difference in the 2 stock classes, which are the exact same car, same motor, same tires, same everything. We have our regular stock class, and then we have our pro stock class. The problem with our pro stock class is, or with our regular stock class, was people were getting so fast, so fast. It was incredible. Like, actually, to be honest with you, my dad's the fastest stock guy around. I mean, he ain't no joke, and he's 61 years old or something now. And
yeah, he's an old
when
fart.
You're talking stock and pro stock, let's talk about how, because you said they're the identical, they're the exact same cars.
Yeah. So what we did is we broke it off. The original thing was if you won more than 5 races in a row, you were out of stock.
Okay.
And then what we ended up doing, where you couldn't really do it that way, because guys were still coming out here and winning a lot of races and stuff. But what we ended up doing is if you had any kind of sponsorship whatsoever, you were not allowed to race the regular stock class. So our regular stock class now is the mom and pop Joe Bros, the kids that come in that don't have a ton of money to put into the stuff, and it really just made it a fun entry level class where you can come out with a $400 or $500 car and win the race. Now our pro stock class, that's a whole different world there. Those are the guys that are putting all the titanium parts into it and ceramic bearings and cut gears and transmissions and all the stuff to make the cars just absolutely ballistic fast.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Ceramic bearings.
Oh, I know.
Cut transmissions.
So if a guy spends $500 and buys one of these cars and comes out here to race, like if I did it, I know absolutely nothing about these cars. What kind of support am I getting from you? And do you have staff here to help?
We do. So the cool thing is I'm actually a factory driver for a company called Team Associated, which is basically the leading car company in the world. I also drive for a company called Reedy, which is electronics. So I know the Associated car in and out very well. I know the Reedy electronics in and out very well. But then Justin, he's actually on my pit crew on the big car. He's a full factory driver, and he's part-time with us here for a company called Schumacher, which is probably the second best car on this surface. So really, we pretty well got it knocked down, covered. He also drives for Hobby Wing, which is a different electronics company. So really, between the two of us, if there's something one of us doesn't know, the other one does.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's
like
cool.
Justin's over there right now. He's getting ready to start the races. I see him walking over from helping one guy, heading over to the next.
So you're gonna start your racing program now. Are you already done qualifying?
Yes, we're going to go straight into qualifying right now. He's calling for stock buggy right now. So this will be our one step above our beginner class. If you look out across the area right now, you'll see a whole bunch of kids all over the place.
Yeah.
Those kids are all racing what is traditionally our novice class, but today there is no old guys in it. So we switched it up today. This is our junior beginner class. I think there is 6 or 7 kids under 10 years old here today.
Oh, wow.
And then we have all the way up to Dave Blackstein, who's 73 years old. So, I mean,
crazy. Well, talking about who's here today, we've mentioned this up. We've seen a few drivers from the stock car ranks making their way in here. Also, the owner of Lunsford Titanium. I mean, that's big for those guys, because they're based here in Albany. But you're talking about a major player in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not no small time deal by any means. He is one of the biggest. I mean, absolutely the biggest of the biggest. As far as the race guys goes, we do have a lot of crossover between that. Bryson James races RC cars.
He does.
Devin Patterson races RC cars. Justin Duty, he doesn't do it a whole lot no more, but he does them. Obviously, the Conways.
Yeah.
Brad Martin and Corey West, they both race cars. Brad Martin's actually really good.
Yeah, well, I know that Devin Patterson's no slouch himself. I mean, you see him on Facebook going to Vegas and Washington and Colorado. I mean, he's kind of all over the place racing these things.
Yeah, he doesn't run a whole lot of local stuff anymore. He's more on-road, which is basically the same surface we got here, just pull the jumps out and race them. But he is definitely no slouch at off-road either, that's for sure.
Well, and watching this is actually like an indoor-outdoor style of carpet. For those who have never been to an RC event, this is what do they call this carpet?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is actually, they consider it EOS-style carpets, European Off-Road Series, which is the largest sanctioning body of RC off-road racing, based out of the UK. There's us, and then there's one track up in Washington, it's a temporary track that's on this surface, but this is actually the carpet that's taken over, and the cool part is we were able to drive down to Lowe's and pick it up.
Is that right?
Just right down the street. Now, you made the switch from the clay surface to here a couple years ago. What was the deciding factor in making the surface transition?
Oh, this thing just went super loud.
It started working. Okay, let's see. We got you on 3.
Yeah.
How's that?
Better.
Talk.
He's got sensitive ears.
Oh man, that thing was super loud. All right, what was the question?
So the question was, when you
That's
started
perfect.
Northwest Hobbies, you were on a clay surface, which being an off-road, I can understand why. But why the transition, and what was the deciding factor to move over to the EOS surface that you have now?
The biggest thing was this is the direction that the world was going. 2 years ago at the Worlds in Yatabe, Japan, they went over the first time it was ever on an artificial surface, and it was actually AstroTurf. People's heads were exploding. People were whining, complaining, moaning. After that race was done, every single car manufacturer except for one dropped their rear motor configuration cars, which were made to race on dirt, and all went to these these mid-motor configurations that we see today, where the motors are actually right in the middle of the car. So when we saw that coming, we were like, hey, you know what? Let's stop working 3 hours a day labor on the track. Let's stop doing 3-day track changes. Let's stop having a $1,000 track change bill every month. Let's just go to the synthetic surface, spend the $5,800 on carpet, and put it down, and just do track changes in 3 hours with a couple guys, and have a couple beers, and be done with it.
Nice.
Sounds simple enough. Now, the track's got to lay out with like what's this material in the middle that?
So that stuff is called CRC Quick Track pipe. It's essentially like an easy up leg, but it's made out of like a plastic. So it's just got a quick release button in the middle of each one of them. So we have a whole bunch of different angles we can put together and couple and move. And the green discs you see out there, actually, those Trevor Glasser dropped those off us for a couple years ago, and those are actually just old tractor plow discs that we plasmid grooves in them. So they weigh.
Oh my gosh, they are.
They weigh 30, 35 pounds. They hold the pipe down good. And
wow,
very nice.
Everybody's getting involved. I mean, this is crazy, but It looks like you got a successful operation going on here. I said, I've never been to one of these events. I'm watching this, and I'm trying to follow these cars. They're so fast. The hand-eye coordination that comes with this has just got to be amazing.
Yeah, they're wicked. That's for sure. It's a lot easier to drive it than it is watch it.